Are we filming? Yes, we are. So I want to show you this and this, but it's mainly this. So what is this? This is one of my inboxes that I carry from time to time, and it's the way I make the most of scrap paper. So I'm just using this as an example because I'm tearing off. This is my, as you've seen from a previous video, perhaps, this is an EDC notebook that I carry that is a diary and a to-do list and a shopping list and various other things. But this is what I do. So if we say that this is a piece of paper that I'm going to discard because it's out of date, so let's say it's yesterday's diary page, and what I will do is I will cut with a pair of scissors, either in the office, or I do carry, and we're allowed to do this in the UK, the knife laws are very, very strict, but you are allowed to carry a small, in this case, a Swiss Army penknife, so long as the blade is less than 3 inches long and it's not lockable, you're allowed to carry it. So for me, I find it's very useful with a pair of scissors. And what I do is I just measure, and this is typical with a diary entry. I find I'm using paper at the top end here, but not the bottom end. I mean, I do sometimes end up using the whole page and then ending up having to get another. But essentially, this piece of paper is so small that would normally be discarded. And quite often these punches for my Atoma disc-based binder are a little bit for the worse for wear. So basically what I do is, if I discard this piece, although I could use this piece, so let's use this piece. So what I do, I just secure it with a rubber band and one bulldog clip, one miniature bulldog clip, and I cut the slots through the material. You'll notice there are 2 slots here. This is because if I go somewhere and I want extra security to prevent these accidentally coming out, then it's a really, really good idea to have 2. So this is actually designed for either ease of use with one bulldog clip, or lots and lots of extra security by having 2 bulldog clips, so that if there's one failure, then the binder is still held with good integrity. But in this particular case, I'm just using one because it's convenient to just use one. I can then add these pieces. So this is the one that can only be used on one side, and I just clamp it there, and then I get this one and I clamp it here. I mean, this is a very, very short video, as you can guess. But the thing is, what I'm trying to point out is the fact that this is a really, really good way of having something that you can use to jot down paper in your pocket or your bag, and it's very, very useful. It's all very, very well using this sort of thing as a general opportunity to jot things down. But if it's very transient and temporary, frankly, it's a lot easier. If someone says, "Oh, jot down my number," you can jot down their number, and it's very, very easy to do this. From a longevity point of view, who cares if the rubber band breaks? Get another rubber band. If this in this case, it's I'm using a long piece of Rhodia paper, and it's on both sides. It's got duct tape, Gorilla Tape. This is 3M duct tape. Not that it makes any difference, but this is really, really hard wearing. And also, you can peel this off and use it in an emergency. So it's I've never needed to do that, but you know, if you needed some tape as an emergency, well, there we go. You can actually peel it off if you're careful. And then, you know, you've got maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 small bits of paper that you might otherwise have thrown away. And, you know, it is what it is. I think this is a really, really good way of making the most of paper in a world when the environmental cost of making paper in the first place is relatively high. So there is inherent requirement on all of us to make the most of paper, and that's what I'm doing. So thank you very much for sharing a rather esoteric video about my use of small pieces of paper. Thank you very much. Until my next video, goodbye.